Good morning, everyone. So today is Monday, the day that we call Monday, the year that we call 2026, in the month that we call January. Let's see, I think it's the 5th, you guys. Let me look. January 5th, the date that we call the 5th. So that's where we're at. I hope everyone had a good New Year's Day. I got together with my son. I cooked dinner, and my son and his girlfriend came over, and we just had a nice meal and a visit for New Year's Day. And then New Year's Eve, I got together with my sister, my nephew, my son, and we spent some family time, which was nice. My boyfriend. So yeah, that's what we did. It was just nice to be with family. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you've all had a beautiful week. The healing intentions are always set for you folks. So if you so choose and you want that, stand in your power, decree it for your highest and greatest good, only and always. And don't follow any links or emails in the comment section of the channel soliciting you for anything, because that would be scammers. All right, so I don't know how the tripod needs to be set up just yet. I guess what we'll do is we'll start shuffling the cards and we'll go from there. So let's do that. So first things first, let's get one card. The temperature for the month of January. So that's what we're looking for. Obviously, we're only looking for the truth. Only the truth is welcome here. Only. I decree that. And we just want to see the energy that is kind of standing over us right now for what we would call this month. And see what we get with one card. We're going to use the Deviant Moon deck. I feel like the energy of the Deviant Moon deck has been... That's really the energy that we're working with right now. I feel like it's a good deck to use right now in our current times. So let's take a look with one card, please and thank you. True story. Just to give us the overall energy of this, what we call the month of January, that we're all working with. Please and thank you. That which is kind of the energy that's leading the pathway, right? Let's take a look. The overall universal pathway. Let's look. I think one more shuffle. And we're going to cut them. And we're going to see what the energy is. The Ace of Wands. So, the Ace of Wands, that's something new, that's something nurturing. We have a very nurturing energy in our physical day-to-day life, because this is the wands are your physical day-to-day life, right? So we're starting something new, something more nurturing, something better. And that's the energy that we're working with overall for this month. So that's good. I told you all I've been totally out of the loop and didn't know a damn thing, because I've just been focused. I've really just been focused on my family and just my day-to-day life and things that need doing for me and my family and my home and my animals. And so I had been out of the loop. And then New Year's Day, I listened to my first podcast, and I don't know how long. It's been a long time. And I was cooking, and I thought, oh, I'll turn on a podcast and I'll listen. And by listening to that, I understood, and it made sense why our last few readings had been about money and the systems and the thief under the table being exposed. And then over the weekend, I had people sending me links showing that even Maine is making the news with all of the fraud that's been happening here. So you can see how the system's crumbling a bit by this exposure, right? This is D-class. This has been going on a very long time, and now it's being exposed. So we're in the D-class phase of things with how these systems have been stealing your money. And yeah, that thief under the table is definitely being exposed once again. And so this morning I tuned in and just checked to see what was going on. And I see that there's more talk of everybody's saying they're not going to pay their taxes. They're tired of this. They're not paying their taxes. They're sick of this. So people are angry. And we need to get angry. We need to learn how to stand up for ourselves. We have too long sat back and just allowed things to happen, right? So, or just felt like, oh, there's nothing that we can do. And one voice might not go too far, but if everybody gets wound up, gets involved and starts screaming and working towards a common goal, that shifts things quite a bit. So we're going to take a really quick look. I guess I'll shuffle that back in. I'll put this right back into the deck. And we're going to take a look at the IRS, okay? So we're just going to pull a card so that we can get a look at the energy around the IRS. So let's take a look there. I want to see with one card, please and thank you, and I realize that in other countries it's called different things, but everybody gets their money taken from them. You work, they take, right? You struggle to survive, and they take whatever they can from you. It's a vicious cycle. So let me get a sip of my chicory. All right. So with one card, I want to see the current condition energetically of the three-letter agency that we refer to as the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, that which takes. That which takes our money and then misuses it and launders it, does all sorts of horrible things with it. So please and thank you. One card. Show me, please, the energy that's hovering the IRS. So this is the big guy, the IRS. Please and thank you with one card. Oh, geez. 7. The 7 of Swords in the Deviant Moon deck. Now, if you guys can see, there's a lot of information out there that's doing a lot of damage to the IRS. Lots of information. It's not looking good for the IRS. Those swords are being juggled. I mean, one sword is going right into the throat of this man. And that, obviously, if that goes into the throat of that guy, he's dead, right? So they're just a tiny, they're hardly pulling off the balancing act, which stops this sword from going right down this guy's throat. That IRS, the system, if you look that top sword that's going across his feet, the sword that's going into his throat is tied to the sword going across his feet. He's in a very precarious position. If there's one little tiny fumble, that sword is going to lose balance and go right down his throat, which will kill him, right? So the IRS is in a place where they're just inches away from death, basically. And information has been out there with those swords. There's some laying on the ground, and there's some in the ground standing up behind him. The information has been out there for a long time, but we're finally getting to a place where this agency is near death, and it's a precarious moment. So with the 7, you always seek the truth, you seek the knowledge, and that's what the swords are all about. They're about truth, wisdom, knowledge, ego, thoughts, words, and of course technology. But in this regard, because of the question that we've asked, this would be about information. And they're not doing very well. So we've got 2 cards laying over the 7 of Swords. So they're telling us to keep seeking, that this IRS is not in good shape, inches from death. And then what we get over the top of it are 2 major arcana cards. One, can you see me? I don't think you can. Let me back it up. Maybe bring you down a little bit. All right, hold on just a minute. I'll be right back. All right. So then I laid 2 cards over the 7 of Swords, right? And the first one that came up is the Empress. And the Empress is healing something. She is healing it. So rejoice. So the Empress is healing things, but there's a lot of thorns still in the background, right? So in regards to this question, where's the IRS standing at this point? Well, they're near death, and then we have something covering it. So the healing has already begun, so rejoice. It's just that you're seeing all of the thorns in the background, right? They've been brought to the front, so you're seeing the thorns. And then we have the Magician, and the Magician is another higher arcana card, so we have 2 higher arcana cards covering this near death that's going on with the IRS. And the Magician has a lot of tricks up his sleeves. He's got a lot of tools. But the fact is, what you see is mostly an illusion. And so that's a 1. So that's new beginnings. So it looks like the IRS visibly, information-wise, visibly, is near death, right? They're barely hanging on there. They're inches away from being a dead system. But then what we have over it is it's already been healed. You're just seeing the thorns. And then know that what you are being introduced to with this one, you're seeing an illusion. It's already been mastered. So it would look as though it's not... So the projection, the illusion, is that it's still in play because this is covering the near death. Let's get one more card, you guys. And then the last card that we're going to pull here comes straight down from the 7 of Swords. You're going to have that 5 of Pentacles, which is that the systems that take your money, that watch the hell out of you. And it's like people are waking up and now they're watching these systems, these places of power that hold themselves above us and take your funds. With that 5, it's like great change and chaos. So it's going to appear as though they're in the midst of a juggling act with this 7 inches away from death because they're undergoing great change, and these systems that have been taking advantage of you and watching you and stacking your money up. Now the people are waking up, and they're seeing how these systems have been corrupted and how they have been stealing from them and using these funds as a money laundering agency. And it's so the chaos with this news and this juggling act here is bringing upon great change. Under the surface of what you're not viewing, there's the healing that's already taken place. The thorns are being pushed into view so that you understand the chaos that's been going on within this 3-letter agency. And there's something new that's already begun with that one. There's a mastering that's happening to heal this system. And a lot of what you're being shown with the chaos right now is only an illusion that's been brought to the front. Like, this has been going on for a long time, and people didn't understand. And now the thorns are being exposed. The information is out there enough so that it's creating inches away from this system to visibly crumble in front of the people that are waking up to see it. So I think we're good there. Let me just double check, because then I'm going to go on to the state taxes. Because that's what's being exposed now. Earlier in 2025, they exposed the federal fraud. Now they're exposing the state level fraud. And let's hope that they then go into your local fraud, because, boy, I tell you, it has been, not that I haven't always known it, but it's getting out there now that there's some local fraud going on here. So people that would roll their eyes at someone like me is now going, wait a minute, what is going on? So it's all coming together, folks, it seems to me. So let me just see if that's good, and we can just move on, please and thank you. Move on to the state taxes. One more shuffle and we're going to cut them. Oh, that one wants to fall. So I'm going to keep that, but as you know, I'm still going to pull from here. So, 7. So the man behind the curtain is being exposed. Yeah, and this is all the money stuff. So the IRS, the big guy there holding the power, toting the money over your head, and with this, the 8 of Cups, the man behind the curtain is being exposed. So that's all going to be exposed. There's already a healing process that's taking place, and that's exciting, okay? So now let's take a look at, and with this card, it's that people need to reach up and grab what's theirs. Because all she does is just bend her arm just a little bit more, straighten out her elbow, and she can take back what's hers. The illusion of the power over her is just that. It's an illusion. But she has to not feel weak, and she actually has to not feel dominated by this guy, and she needs to reach up and take back what's hers. So that would be the advice, right, for people to reach up and take back what's theirs. Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just going to say that right now. But you would want to do that in a way that you're lawfully protected, right? And sometimes it's just making a stand, right? It's enough to stand about it and keep the noise going so that changes have to be forced in there. So thank you so much for that information. Now let's take a look at the state taxes. So right now there's a lot being exposed with the state taxes. So I don't know what's going on in all of your states, but let me just tell you what's going on here. There's a new Somalian woman that's in South Portland here in our state, and she's basically telling people that she's going to use their taxpayers' dollars to help Somalia. And then they just made the news, the Somalian daycares that aren't actually daycares, that are just laundering and funneling money. And in this one particular building, they found many levels of fraud, including the fact that they registered immigrants to vote there, and who that ties back to Mills and her cronies. And there's just a lot that's come out, right? So last year, early in the year, the IRS exposure happened with the federal level fraud. This year, we kickstart this year off, and they're exposing the fraud within the system on a state level. So I just want to see with one card, please and thank you, the energy around the state taxes that people have taken out of their paychecks. And so can you just show me the health and the health around the state taxes, please and thank you. Show me the energy of where that is right now, please and thank you. No, that one just didn't want to pick up, so we're going to keep it. This one wants to stay, so we're going to keep that. And we're going to cut them now. So that one wanted to stay. Ooh, Judgment, the Wheel of Fortune. We've got two major arcana cards coming up with the health around our state taxes. So let's cut. I already cut them. And I already pulled. Okay. Let me get more chicory. Apparently, I'm not fully with it this morning. So where are we at right now? Major arcana cards hanging over our state taxes. So we're at, with the Wheel of Fortune, we're about ready to right things. We're about ready to turn things back around. Okay? And the reason why is because people are waking up, and the energy around the state taxes is judgment. And judgment has come in, things have been exposed, and people are waking up. So the energy with our state taxes is, with this Wheel of Fortune, things are coming, things are being righted. They're going to turn around. You're going to put the devil at the bottom. The advice with the Wheel of Fortune in this card, do you see how that guy, he's sitting there on that stool and he's waiting for the wheels of karma to spin that Wheel of Fortune. And he's feeling helpless and like, oh my God, what's it going to land on? And the advice with the Wheel of Fortune is, don't sit there and expect your destiny to be taken care of for you, right? So what this guy really needs to do is get up off his stool and participate in his own journey in life. And so that's the advice with the Wheel of Fortune card. We're in a major place right now where things are coming to an end with that 10, right? They're ending, and they're going to be righted. The devil is going to be put back around onto the bottom. So things are going to be righted when this wheel turns. But don't just leave it in the hands of your people that you would consider of power. Don't just leave it in the hands of your local representatives, your local governments, your state governments. Get up off our stool and take a stand. That's always the advice with the Wheel of Fortune. But these state taxes, the way things have been done, they're coming to an end. They're going to be righted because there's been a lot. The devil has been overseeing. I wish you could see these cards better. But the devil's been overseeing our state taxes. And it's time to put that guy back on the bottom, right things, turn things around, and make things right. It's time to end these state taxes. But the advice is get up off our stool and participate in the ending of it. So how can we do that? Well, we can write letters. We can write emails. to the president. The president makes it really easy to write a letter to the White House. And everybody on down the line, you can get out, you can protest, you can educate. There's a lot of things that you can do. Educate yourself, educate others. There's a lot that you can do. Bitch about it on social media, because I'm sure that they're taking a temperature of where people are at. So, yeah, bitch about it. But people are waking up. This is happening because people are being woken up. So it's only happening because judgment has come in and is waking people up. Because otherwise people would still be sleeping and just allowing this to happen. So this exposure, this declass is necessary to end these systems that have had the devil ruling over the top of them. So that's what we're getting with our state taxes. All right. So again, I don't know what's happening in your states or in your areas, your counties. What I do know is that there's been some real problems being exposed in my personal county. And this happened just before Christmas, where somebody that I know he ran for Waldo County Commissioner and was seated on the board. And so since he won that, the amount of spending, the ungodly, unreasonable spending, the inflated spending, inflated numbers, throwing out numbers without a budget, just all sorts of things. It's been bad. So our taxes doubled 2 years ago. Our property taxes doubled 2 years ago. And, we were fed a line of bullshit about that. And then they were trying to very slyly pass a budget that would up our taxes again, 56%. And that is just absolutely ridiculous. So there was a big meeting held about it. The can did get kicked down the road, but a lot got exposed. And people found out, there hasn't been an audit. They've been inflating numbers. So if something costs $400, they've been saying it costs nearly $800. I mean, it's a shit show, right? So, and I'm sure this happens in every county and every town across America. And I'm sure it happens however you divide your country up. We have states, towns, counties, etc. I'm sure in other countries it's been happening. I don't know the verbiage, but it's been happening to all of you as well. So let's take a look right now at the local level the local level taxes that we pay. Those taxes that we're supposedly paying for the sand that's being used on the road and the sand that our town buys for people to grab one bucket at a time for their driveways during these horrific storms and icy years, and what the town uses to sand the back roads, the non-state maintained roads, and your garbage removal, which we do pay for. It's not free. We have a dump, but we're getting taxed for that. But we also have to pay for every bag of garbage, and we're paying for the school system, which the school system here sucks, and it's just indoctrinating our kids. We're paying for all of these things supposedly, right? And we're supposed to be smiling as as we're getting greased up here. We're supposed to be smiling and happy about handing over this money when people can barely afford to buy groceries. So let's take a look at the energy, the health of our local taxes, because I think the exposures will start happening, on a larger scale there. So let's take a look at the local taxes, please and thank you. Let's see the energy of the local taxes. as the energy of the IRS, the federal taxes, is in a near death, and there's a huge energy over the state taxes right now, saying it's time to end this, and people are being woken up as to why that is. Can we please get a read on the energy of the local taxes? And we're going to shuffle them one more time. And we're going to cut them. What's the energy there? So the energy there is still pretty simplistic. Like, people really, not enough people are paying attention. So people are still coming together saying, it's better for us to have to suffer a little bit and do our part, because our local governments need that money to stay balanced. We should be happy about doing without and not being able to have much so that they can have. So people's mindsets are still in that state of affairs. But healing is coming to that as well, and there will be a big tower moment. The thorns are covering the simplicity, right? So the thorns in our local levels will be exposed big time. Probably a lot bigger than what's happening in my area right now. There's going to be a lot of exposure in our local taxation. All the thorns will be revealed. Rejoice, healing is coming to heal this and to heal the people that still are brainwashed, that feel as though, let's just come together and pay our town's taxes, because it doesn't matter that our place is really basic, and our town needs our money in order to survive and be balanced. Honestly, my town doesn't provide jack shit for me, and I don't have kids in the school system. And yeah, I'm not real impressed. But I never have been, so I'm not going to get on my bitch fest about it. But anyway, let's just get back to the reading, because I could start bitching about taxes on every level, and we could talk all day about it. I've never believed in taxes, so that's just me. That's just me. So anyway, yeah, people are still kind of in the mindset of, we need to give. No matter how poor we are, we need to give to our towns and our local taxes. So the thorns will be revealed, and the healing will come in. There will be a big shift in the local taxes, and how that's going to happen, you guys, with the Tower card, is it's going to crumble from the top down. So that does make sense when I think about that. The exposure with the IRS, the federal government, and then the exposure with the state will bring it down to the bottom, where it will take it right down to the local level. So these taxes that you're paying to your town for your county, that's going to crumble from the top down by way of how this whole system is working. So let's get one more card, and we have the King of Wands. So the King of Wands comes down from these people that are like, oh, it's okay to have to pay all this money, because we'll go without, because it's our duty. Our town needs our cash in order to stay balanced, right? With that 4, and which is not, it's not true when people are overtaxed and money is being allocated to places that don't benefit the people in the town, right? Or the town itself. Let me give you one little example. There's this little tiny 6x6 shed that was built at the dump station for the guy that runs the dump on the dump days, to be able to stand inside in the cold so that he's not exposed. And our town paid $6,000 for this little tiny shed. It's 6x6, you guys. It's just big enough for the guy to get inside and get warmed up. $6,000. we've built enough sheds, much bigger than that. I've built enough things in my life, and I'm telling you right now, that did not cost $6,000 to build. If you count the material and the guy's labor, it still would not come to $6,000. That's an inflated number. And either someone's getting their pocket lined, or they're misusing and mismanaging the town folks' funds. And that's just one tiny example, you guys. That's just one itty bitty example. So anyway, yeah. Coming down from that, we have the King of Wands, and the King of Wands leads with the highest and greatest good for all, as I have told you, right? So how's this state stuff going to happen? Well, it's going to crumble from the top down, and you're going to have good people that are willing to come in and work to fix things on a local level. And I'm already seeing that with somebody I know personally, who I love. He's a young man who is like family to us, and he's honorable and his intentions are good. And you're going to see more and more of this, because the thorns will be exposed as things crumble from the top down. That's going to expose even more of those thorns on our local levels, right? Because the Tower card covers the healing card. And as that happens, more and more good people are going to take a stand. And so that's what I'm getting as far as our federal, state, and local taxation goes. So, and that's just what I'm getting. Obviously, you guys, how we do it is, I always say, this is what I'm getting. Take what resonates, toss the rest. So before we get off here, you guys, I want to take a look at okay, so listen. I know someone who is very good friends with a family that had to leave Venezuela. They lost everything because they dared stand up to their government. And so they literally walked here on foot. And their story is horrific and inspiring. It's tragic. And so with all of the Venezuela news going on right now, I'm seeing in my state, on my feed, people who are very liberal and woke screaming against liberation of Venezuela. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I know that they're asleep and they don't understand the big picture and they don't know what this is really all about, and all of that and whatever. But I mean, it's not. We've known for decades the state of affairs in Venezuela, the playbook that was used there to bring that country down, right? So they're so caught up in hating Trump, though, that they're on their social medias and they're raging. They're raging. How dare he do this? How dare he go in a night and have a very clean military operation take place to extract, which they're calling kidnapping, Maduro and his wife. And then, the show says they're being brought up on charges, and you know how it's all going down, right? But they're outraged about it. So these are the same people that say, let every immigrant that wants to come here, because their homelands are so horrid. And now you have what is a liberation of a country, and they're bitching about that without asking any of the people from Venezuela that are here why they're here. They just want to hate Trump. So it wouldn't matter what he does or how he does it. They just are so blanketed in hate that it stops them from being open to learn, and it keeps them very small, which is sad. But, I mean, everybody's on their own path. I just want to, with one card before we get off here, I just want to look at the energy of the people that I'm seeing that are still like really caught up in this. Anything that this guy does, they just got to hate on it. I mean, rather than looking into why the people in Venezuela might actually be celebrating liberation, or I just don't understand it. They're mad about him taking down on the world stage the narrative is the drugs, right? They're mad about that. Why aren't they talking to the numerous mothers who have buried their children? I have gone to far too many kids' funerals from drug overdoses. Yeah, it breaks my heart. And so I just don't understand their mentality. And I want to get, I just want to get one card showing me the energy for these people that just see, and that wants to stay, so we'll keep it. Showing me the energy of these people that no matter what is taking place, they find a reason to rage about it. And it's just because they hate Trump. Because there's no logic or common sense behind what they're raging about. And they were raging about IRS exposing the fraud. Now they're raging about Venezuela. They're raging about this and that and the other. I mean, they're never happy. They just, if he steps forward, they say he should have stepped backwards. If he backs up, they say he should be going forward. There's nothing this guy can do to appease their hatred. And I'm not saying this to be judgy. I'm saying these people are allowing some very dark forces to guide them. And I'm saying they're allowing it because it is consent. We're free-willed beings here. They're so caught up in the vibration of hate that they hate anything that he does, even if it's good. I've never seen anything like it. I've never seen anything like it in my lifetime. I've never seen this type of hate for a president. Now, there's been many presidents that weren't liked by everybody, and some people might even say, I can't stand this president. But it wasn't like this, you guys. It definitely was not like this. This is the craziest thing. So I just want to get an overall, with one card, just a card that represents these people's energy. Please and thank you. That wasn't a good shuffle at all. I'm going to shuffle one more time, and I'm going to cut them. I'm going to pull that card, chaos, and I'm going to turn this one over, and that's the 7th, on point, on path, right? So these people that I'm speaking of, the card that I pulled, right, after I shuffled the deck, is the 5 of Rods. And so these people are caught up. They're very caught up in hate. And chaos, the vibration of chaos is what covers them. and it's uncomfortable for them. Like the great change that comes with a 5 creates this chaotic feeling in these people, and it keeps them disharmonious and fighting and raging. And they're unable to see. If you look right here, there's something wonderful blooming. But the energy that they're in, which is chaotic, through this time of great change, stops them from being able to turn around and see the truth, see the blooms. And so they stay in this place of chaos. So while they're in this place of chaos and fighting and anger and all of this crap, the universe is telling us this is where we're at in our path. We're on point on path. So 7 is the higher knowledge, the higher knowing that comes in, that creates the great change, right? When you're putting these 2 cards together, because this one wanted to stay down. And the path seems very sketchy. The little girl is walking down this path alone at night with just a sliver of light guiding her way. It's so dark. She's got her hands in front of her. She's feeling her way. She doesn't see that the path around her is bloomed. And what the universe is saying with this in regards to these people, that it's okay, you guys. It's okay, because we're on point, we're on path, and to these people it seems very, very scary. And this energy of great change has created a shitload of anxiety and chaos within them. But it's okay. We're still going to get to our destination with this on point, on path card, no matter how scared or how angry some may be, okay? So I'm just going to pull another couple of cards here. Transformation is happening with Temperance. Balance is going to come one way or another. And we're at a point where things are just kind of being weeded out, okay? So this is on point, on path. The chaos, the anger coming from both sides of the aisle, really, is just part of this great change that we're going through. But good things are blooming in the background. We are on point, on path, regardless of how ugly it may look right now, with all of this like division and the bitching and the hatefulness and whatever. We're still going to get to our destination, even though this is an energy that we're seeing and viewing. Temperance, the higher arcana card, Temperance, is slowly alchemizing things. So she is taking things and she is creating great change through her gift of alchemy, her own inner power. She's taking what was, and over time she's changing it into something much better. And so she comes up right here with this fighting, right? And so this fighting and this hate and this chaos is being taken. The universe is taking this, and it is transforming it into something much better, even though it feels like a really crazy time, you guys. And so then we have our 2 of Pentacles here that's on point, on path. And the 2 of Pentacles is, you know, people have gone without, okay? Even people that seem as though they have their shit together are still struggling financially, and there's an imbalance there, okay? So this financial stuff is really the biggest piece of what's going to get us to this destination that we're moving towards, that's going to tame the anger of like everybody. So when things are tossed out that aren't useful, and they're saying what's going to be tossed out, what's changing, what's being tossed out. What's being tossed out here with this emotional card lines up with the financial card, where balance has to come in because things haven't been in alignment. and certain things will be tossed out, and things will only be stacked up that work in this transformation that we're going through. So when that happens, they're basically saying, when the people on both sides of things, whether it's the woke people or, the far right people, the people that walk that center line, when everybody starts to see a balancing act and things thrown out that have not worked for us, and things have become transformed, this chaos will be healed. So the hate, the discontent, the bitching, the moaning, it's going to shift things. So this is just part of our great change. It's part of being on point and on path. And it just is what it is. But when people's pocketbooks start feeling a little relief because there's been a great change, a great alchemy that's happened, and things that don't work for the people have been tossed aside, this is when we're going to start seeing people come out of this discomfort that they're in. It's all just part of the great change. So everybody can feel that we're going through massive change, and some people are taking that on chaotically and in a fear space, and they're acting out hatefully. And it's not just the far left people either, because it's happening for the far right people as well that are being hateful towards the far left. Like, there's a lot of hatefulness going on for the people that haven't fully woken up to the energy that has been coming in, or maybe they haven't fully woken up to their spirituality, where they will find some peace and some comfort and be able to see things from a higher perspective. But we're going through great change. And so when things start leveling out, because Temperance has been transforming things through this chaos and this great change for a long time, and things are thrown out that don't serve us people, and only the things that do serve us are stacked up, and balance has been created with that Four of Cups. Work to do the balance by tossing out what doesn't work. And with this Two of Pentacles, when the money systems come into alignment so that people don't have to go without, things won't seem as scary on this path that we're on. The chaos will subside and everybody will see the blooming. Does that make sense, you guys? Did I explain that pretty well? So that's just where we're at. It's part of what we're going through. Everybody will come around when everything benefits everybody. When they start to feel the benefits, literally. And it will be the pocketbook, apparently, with that Two of Pentacles. Then people are going to calm down. When it's the pocketbook and the things that are of importance to them with those pentacles, right? Because that's your worldly pleasures. So that's your family, that's your finances, that's all of the earthly pleasures. So when that's balanced out so that everybody's got it a little easier and their day-to-day doesn't seem so scary, and things have been thrown out that haven't worked for people that make you feel bad, and things have been stacked that do work, that make us feel good, and things have been fully transformed, alchemized, this chaos will end. It's just that people can't see the blooms around them right now. They're either caught up in fear or they're caught up in hate. Because the little girl walking down the path, she's scared shitless, right? So people are either caught up in fear and they can't see the new way of life blooming into a healthy journey for them, or they're caught up in hate and they cannot see what's bloomed behind them. That is a much higher way of being. That rose in this Five is up on a hill. So it's a higher way of being, a better way of being. But if you're caught up in fear and you're caught up in hate, you're just not going to see what's transforming. You can't see the blooms around you. You're focused on your lack, which makes you feel fearful or angry. And it's not until things are tossed aside, really tossed aside, and balance can do its thing, and temperance has worked her magic and her alchemy, and things start getting stacked up in such a way so that people feel the benefits, because this is a very feeling card, right? With the cups, people have to feel the benefits. They have to feel it. So that's what's going on in our time of great change. And I think that explains it pretty well. And I just want to see if they have anything else that they want to say on that, or if we can be done with that little piece of things. And then I'm going to just end us with one card, advice, after this, and we'll be done for the day. So I think that explains it pretty well. Thank you so much. I'm making a terrible mess. So what would have we got? We've got the moon. So we can be finished here, you guys. We can be finished. That really does tell the story. The second piece of the moon is all will be revealed. And, you know, what they're telling us with the moon in regards to this reading is that people have been puppeted. They've been influenced. They've been programmed. They've been puppeted. And that's all of us. That's not just the left side of things. That's not the far right side of things. That's everybody and all of us in between that walk a middle line there. Not too far to the left, not too far to the right. Kind of staying in the middle ground where things are most logical and well grounded, where respect for everybody can take place. It's everybody's just been puppeted for so long, and so the moon has to reveal everything, and it will. Reveals will come out, and people's crowns will open, and their intuition will kick in, and things will end. This puppeting game will end eventually here. But yes, we can be done. That sums it up pretty good. So with all of that, let's just ask now. Thank you so much. I want to just say thank you for the information that you've given us here today. And what I would like to do, as the energy stands in this moment, I would like you to, now with the information that we've been given as the energy stands, I'd like you to leave us off with whatever you would like to leave us off with. One card, maybe insight, clarity, advice. Just leave us off with whatever you think we can benefit to hear in this moment, as the energy stands with the knowledge that we have. Please and thank you. Last words with one card. All right, let's cut them. Last words, one card. Let's get them cut. And see what they have to say. Judgment. So they're leaving us with a major arcana card. And, you know, they're telling us, listen, we're going through this major period of judgment. The horns being blown from up high. It's waking people up out of their slumber. It's probably going to be very confusing. These people have been dead, literally. And so they're being woken up. So to bring in a semblance of balance. And so we're going through a time where there's going to be a lot of confusion. People are going to be upset. People are going to be fearful. We're going through major change. This is a big picture card, higher arcana, judgment. So as we leave off the reading, the universe and our creator wants, and our highest versions of self want us to understand that this is an energy that we are working with. And so it's good for us to keep in mind that there are different phases to this wake-up call. And we're going through judgment here. It's a big deal. I mean, judgment creates great, great change. And so that's the energy that we're in, judgment, blowing its horn, revealing ugly things, waking up people's souls, their intuition, getting them out of their slumber. And like with that moon, shaking off that puppeting that's been happening, that mind control, that brainwashing, even if it's just subtle. We've all gone through it. We've all been brainwashed about something. I mean, none of us are. Even if you've woken up in areas, you still haven't woken up to everything. There's still areas where we're being puppeted or brainwashed, manipulated. Your feelings are being poked at, through the media. It's still a huge manipulation, wake up, judgment call. So it's best for us during this type of energy to pull ourselves back and not allow ourselves to be emotionally triggered. Don't walk with fear. Fear is a very low vibrational energy, and it calls low vibrational energies to you if you stay in it. Hate is a very low vibrational energy, and it calls low vibrational energies to you if you stay in it. Anger and rage can be righteous, and then that is supposed to trigger you to move in a positive direction, to create positive change. When it's just being used for chaos and more hatred and more anger and more rage, that's an incredibly low vibration, and that allows negative energies to be drawn towards you. And the doldrums even, like especially unsubstantiated doldrums. So if you're upset and you're grieving because you've just lost somebody or you've just lost a pet, grief and sadness is a natural part of life. You're naturally going to feel that. You ebb and flow with that, right? It's not with you every second of the day because life is happening. And so you'll have your moments where those emotions come in like waves, and that's okay. That's natural. However, if you're stuck in that spot because the ego is keeping you there and every second of every day feels overwhelming and you're really stuck in that spot, that's an egocentric place to be. It's the ego. It's not true emotion. That can create a very negative, low vibrational energy around you. You can stay stuck there if you let it, and that will also draw negative energies to you. And if you're constantly depressed or upset because the world out there doesn't look as you want it to, again, that's something outside of yourself. And, taking control and seeking your blessings, seeking your creator, seeking your highest version of self, and seeking all of the blessings and looking around, and just a shift in words, a shift in mindset. It can take some practice, but you can do it. Doing your spiritual practices, all of these things can help you pull out of that. Know that's only your ego that's keeping you there. So, connect with your heart, connect with your creator, connect with your highest version of self, and lift the vibration. The more you do your spiritual work, your positive affirmations, your attitude of gratitude, all of those things, the more your vibration will lift. And then you're not a magnet for lower vibrational entities that want to suck your energy and feed off of your loosh. Okay? So just remember, we're in a time of judgment. This is a good thing. The horn is blowing. It's waking people up. It's going to continue on. And so as people wake up, there's going to be different emotions. As judgment blows its horn, there's going to be all sorts of things that get laid out there for you that could be emotionally triggering. Pull yourself back, right? take care of you, nurture you, love you, do whatever it takes to keep yourself in a good place. And that's the bottom line there, you guys. So anyway, I hope that you found some value in this. I hope you had a little fun with me this morning. I wish you all a beautiful day. Happy New Year. I'm excited to see things unfold. It's just a really interesting time to be alive. So again, this is just what I'm getting. Take from it what you will, what resonates, toss the rest. Use your own intuition. That's how we do it. I'm not here to try to cram anything down you guys' throats. We're just having a little fun here together, looking into things and seeing what we get. All right, you guys, until next time, I love you all very much. Stay in that love vibration. Seek out that joy vibration. Live, love, laugh. Stay in the attitude of gratitude. Your life will shift. You'll feel better. All right, you guys. I'll see ya. Bye.